Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey, you guys. I appreciate you guys for listening and tuned in because a lot of times people don't get a chance to, tune in onto my podcast. So when you guys do take a listen, I just want to say thank you, from the bottom of my heart, because you didn't have to click that link that goes to my episode that plays, that you listen to my voice now, my great voice, the voice that many people said they could listen to all day. You feel me? But no, I really do appreciate you. I do appreciate the old listeners as well, everybody who keeps returning, new and old. You're forever in my hearts, and I want to say thank you and much more abundance and blessings in your journey. I hope that everything works out for you, and if anything's going on that in your life that you feel uncomfortable about, I'm not going to pray for you. I ain't going to say all that because I ain't praying for everybody. But what I'm going to say is I'm sending out good energy, and I don't need everybody praying for me. So what I'm just trying to say is I just wish that everything will work out for you, and it will. I'm affirming that over your life. And I just want you to understand that the things I want for you to do is just continue on your journey. Don't be afraid of asking God for new blessings. Don't ask God for new challenges because you got to be uncomfortable to grow. And this podcast and episode is pretty much just saying don't run away from your problems, run towards it. And a lot of people sometimes they get bombarded with like tons of things all at once, right? I'm a person who I've been dealt with a lot of pressure. I've been nearly homeless. I've been nearly evicted. I nearly lost my car. I nearly had I'm nearly on every damn thing. You feel me? So what I'm saying is you can't really focus on the negatives of life. You got to focus on how could you recalibrate your life? You get me? How could you face things head on? So when you see people go in other countries and stuff like that, when they're a bull, the masquerades with a bull and all that crap, they have a lot of people who think that you're supposed to run away from the bull, right? And technically speaking, you're supposed to run towards the bull because if you're running towards the bull is going to be running towards you. But the only way you're going to get away from the bull is if you get out the way really quickly. But a lot of people don't want to risk that, right? A lot of people don't want to risk getting hit by the bull. The bull, once you dodge the bull, everybody else behind you have to deal with the effects of the bull. So what do I mean by that? If you went ahead and faced your problems, but everybody else in the world, they always ran away from their problems, right? And you was the only person, I'm just saying hypothetically speaking, if everybody in that situation that you were in ran away from their problems, right? 50% of people ran away from their problems. The other 50%, the people who did head onto this problem, they went ahead and became successful. That's pretty much what I'm saying. The bull passing you and you passing the bull means you went through the toughest parts of life. What you're really afraid of, the problem that's causing havoc in the streets, the problem that's causing all this chaos, right? You're running towards it because you're just like, what is it that everybody's afraid of? Like, okay, I see this animal, it's big, it's huge, but worst case scenario, I go out like a G. You feel me? I go out like a hero. I go out as someone who's very courageous. I'm not going to be out here running away because, yeah, I can run away all day, but let me do something different. Let me run towards it. And I'm not telling you guys that to really do that. I'm just saying that as an analogy because sometimes people take my things serious. And I'm like, no, don't run towards a bull. Don't run towards a car. Don't run towards nothing that's going to obviously could get you hurt or killed. Because I want you guys well alive, pursuing goals, getting money, getting rich, living out to see it. And, I kind of realized that me running towards my goals, me running towards problems, me running towards things that I was afraid of, like a lot of people say, I'm afraid of the dark. I was afraid of the dark at one time. I'm still am afraid of the dark. I'm not going to lie because I grew up in a haunted house that everybody in my house knows is haunted and we all just laugh about it. But, bro, we do see ghosts. Like, what the fuck are we laughing about? Back to the story. I run towards problems because when I used to run away from problems, I used to have sleepless nights. Like, when I was in middle school, I used to hate having to fight, right? But I had to fight because when I was growing up in elementary, I didn't have no clothes, right? My mom always did. She owned her own businesses, so we were just trying to get things up and running. You feel me? She did her thing, and then the clothes that we had were just obviously hand-me-downs, and we were just well-fed and well-kept. And it's not like we were, fucked up. It was just like she just said, we're not spending money on what everybody else has money on to spend money on. My mom's a very, frugal. She's very frugal, but she's very, it's not malicious or nothing like that. She does it because she knows that She claims that she's a very independent woman and she knows what's best for the family. And she does. She obviously is the head, and she knows what financial decision could be made that could help the family accelerate. So she always, at a given time in the beginning moments of my early life, never really squandered money on any type of like bullshit, right? Designer and all that good stuff. I'm not saying that's bullshit now, but I'm just saying like early on, kids, middle school, you don't gotta have all that shit on. So in school, right, in elementary, man, I used to get picked on. I used to always not want to deal with the bullies, not because I was afraid to fight them. I really am a great fighter and stuff like that. I just never really, I'm not gonna say I'm a great fighter. I'm just gonna say I know how to defend myself, right? I never really wanted to get in trouble because I didn't want my parents to feel like I was the one causing trouble. You get me? Because I was always defiant in class already. I was always talking back. I always was a rebellious kid. I always told the teacher, why can't you stop talking? Like, you telling us to stop talking. Why you can't be quiet for once? They're like, you keep telling us what to do, but you keep telling us what to do. How we going to focus on our work? And then just being smart, being very disrespectful, sadly. And I didn't mean it to come off like that at a young age. You get me? I was always very just outspoken because I'm like, why nobody else is saying anything? So I never really wanted to get into trouble. And I felt like that turned into everybody else thought I was a troublemaker. So I attracted that energy. So I attracted people who were troublemakers. And I didn't want that energy in my life. So I kind of ran away from that from my early elementary life. Middle school, I seen the same people because we was all in the same neighborhoods and cities. And I was like, man, I'm tired of this shit. So, I obviously had a few fights in middle school and stuff like that. And it wasn't something I was happy about, but it is something I wish I got away. I wish that was something I got done with sooner, right? I got away with it in elementary because going into middle school is like you fight somebody, but now everybody has a maturity level to them a little bit and consciousness, right? When I say consciousness, I'm saying like everybody know what they doing. 6th grade, 7th grade, you're not no little kid no more. You know what you're doing, right? So you know what you're doing, and now you're at this point where you're dealing with kids who may grow up in a hostile environment. Their parents may be separated and your parents are together. You have a loving family. And now you're dealing with all these negative energies because now it's manifesting into this human body, into an older person, which is this middle school kid. So you're in school with these dudes and they're out here causing trouble, want to smack you in the back of the head. Now you turn around, you punch them. Now you fight, and now you got to watch your back every day because now it's a conglomerate of people, right, who want to fight you now because you're this person who is going around trying to fight everybody, or quote unquote is fighting everybody, and things are working out in your favor. So what I'm saying is you want to be that person who don't want to go and run away from your problems. You just want to be a person that, listen, you want to deal with the problem, even though if it's a problem where you lose the war, but you win the battle. You won the whole thing, because if you could walk away, or if you could take care of something right on the spot, knowing that you tried your best to it, knowing it as a clear conscience, clean slate, you no longer have to be afraid of what comes after that. Because a lot of people, they're afraid of the possibilities of losing what's closest to them. What are they afraid of? They're afraid of going broke. They're afraid of not having the things that they wish they had, like, take care of earlier. Now they having problems with people want to deal with them later on in life, and they haven't dealt with the problems early on, or people haven't dealt with their insecurities early on in life. Now it's catching up with them later on in life, or your financial stability is now catching up to you in your 30s and 40s because you fucked up your 20s. I'm not saying you're still going to have a bad turnaround, but what I'm saying is you could always turn that around, right? All you got to do is face your problems. If you know you don't have no money, just go get some money. How hard is it to go get some money nowadays? What do I mean by that? You have tons of people who don't want to work a job, right? I don't work a job. You have a free job opening right now somewhere in the world that if I was to work, that would be one less vacant job. But if I'm not working, that's one open job. So you have someone right now who doesn't have a job complaining about there ain't hiring. There is somebody who's always hiring. And if you don't want to work a job, figure out a way to make some money, obviously. This is a business podcast. Obviously, the second thing I want you guys to understand, if you run from your problems, those are going to haunt you every day. You got to understand, if you don't take care of shit now, it's going to eat you up in the past. It's going to eat you up in the future. What do I mean by that? You don't pay your car note. You don't pay shit. Now you're going to see it on your credit. I'm telling you, I can't explain to you how many times where I said I was going to take care of something and it fucked me up financially in the end because I didn't take care of it in the beginning. Like, I was supposed to take care of something, now I forgot, and I was like messed up. So when I reactivated, I got to pay double the price. It's like little things like that. It's like when I was supposed to spend this money now, the price goes up. Or when I was supposed to take care of the situation now with this person, now it went into this whole bigger situation because it snowballed into this bigger thing when it kind of got taken care of in the beginning. But now both ends of the parties aren't see eye to eye. But now that's where the problem arises. You get me? Bigger problems mean bigger dealings, and bigger dealings mean all people's gonna fall out. So what I like to do in life is I like to keep a very unbiased stance on everybody and everything. I like to stay down the middle. I like to run towards my personal problems, not everybody else's problems, because if you take care of everybody else's problems, you still got problems you have to deal with yourself. So you got to have a bit of selfishness to yourself. You get me? You got to be able to focus on what's in front of you, because focusing on what John Doe has in front of him, you're going to crash right into that damn brick wall. You keep going to parties when you know you got homework to do. You keep spending your money when you know you got to pay your rent real soon. You keep spending your money when you know you got to buy clothes and stuff like that. You haven't bought clothes in, 10 years. You wearing little brother clothes and your little sister clothes. Now you look like a damn, you feel me? You just looking all crazy out here. Spend money on the things that really do matter. Don't invest your time into things that's not going to matter. Face your problems head on. If you know you got to deal with something, right, that's on your consciousness and it's on your heart. Someone did you wrong. Someone fucked you over in a deal. Someone cheated on you. Someone told on you. Someone did some fuck shit to you. You know, someone ripped you off. Someone obviously is talking shit about you. All 9 yards. Your wife divorced you. You went and bought a car, and then you feel like the dealership finessed you. The salesman finessed you. All type of nonsense, right? You got to take a step back and realize, where did you go wrong, right? And I'm not talking about you doing anything wrong. I'm talking about, where did you go wrong? Did you overlook things, right? Did you not face the problems head on when they were right there in front of you? When someone told you, this ain't gonna work out, this ain't gonna do that. When the salesman says, are you sure you're gonna be able to afford this damn car? Are you sure you're gonna be able to afford this car? Because you don't. If you can't afford this car, you know you're gonna be fucked up. The problem is that you let your ego get ahead of you, right? So you facing your problems isn't always going to be physical, isn't always going to be mental. It could always be something like spiritual. It could be something, like I said, if it's not spiritual, mental. If it's not mental, it's always physical. So it's one of the three. You get me? So what I'm saying is, now you carrying around this personality of ego saying, no, I can afford this car. I can afford this car. Now you have this car note you can't afford, and now you're fucked up. You're fucked up, and now you got to face the problem head on. So how do you face the problem head on? You got to make more money now, right? Now you have a little bit of clear conscience, because now you could just take care of the car note because you faced the problem head on. You're not squandering around no more, waiting around when the fucking car note, you're not, when you're gonna get paid again, and now you're gonna keep complaining about not having no money for the car note in the month. Go get a fucking job. Go get some more money. You get me? Go run into that problem. Go face it head on. The things you don't want to do, you may just have to do it momentarily. Like, for some odd reason, I feel like people just want to go straight into being the big league, into being the big dog, right? And if you guys listen to my podcast, I document my journey. I document everything I've been doing from the beginning of entrepreneurship. It may not be the very first episode that I obviously started, but I've been doing entrepreneurship for a very good time, right? While in college and everything. And the only thing I learned about entrepreneurship was that if you don't take care of shit now, it's going to blow up later, you know, because your business is going to be your baby. And if you don't take care of certain things, like I talked about in my other episodes about, you know, not taking care of your business credit, or not doing certain things, or blowing certain things, and not really breaking down what matters to you, you're going to be in a situation where it's going to be hard for you to come out of. And I'm not saying hard like it's not impossible to come out of it. You just dug yourself deeper in the hole, right? You're just taking all these credit cards out, and then you never paying it back, and now you're fucked up. You give me personal credit. I'm talking about business. I'm talking about your actual personal, because you want to look rich. So what do I mean by that, man? Face your problems head on. Talk to somebody about your problems if you have something going on in your life, because not everybody is able to digest and interpret their own problems. They may need to vocalize that to somebody else who may have a better ear, a better understanding of that problem that they, you know, have, that they're dealing with. You know, I'm a very good person who listens well to everything that someone tells me. That's why I make sure when people tell me either truth or lie, I make sure that I read it back or say it back to them, because I need you to understand how it sounds to me in my tone of voice, and I need you to understand how it sounds to both of us. Because I'm getting it this way, but we're both getting it supposed to be getting it this way, right? So you got to face that problem head on. Unclear miscommunication, face it head on. I had situations where I had to talk to contractors and handyman a little bit more stronger than I should, because obviously sometimes they may just not listen to you. They may not respect the fact that you are doing things on your time, and the grace of you doing it for yourself, you're able to give them some money out of the deal, or rehab job that they're doing for you, and they may not be taking that those orders, you know, easily. They may feel like you shouldn't be the person over them. You shouldn't be the person who they feel like is better than them. So they may have a a slight miscommunication with you not answering or not calling back, call them. You know, if they're not answering, leave a voicemail. If they have a full voicemail, send a thorough but detailed message. I like to tell everybody at the time, I kind of have 3 strikes for everybody. I'm going to give you 3 strikes for me, 3 chances. And the reason why I say that is because I'm a cool guy. I'm not going to be someone who's going to blow your phone up. I'm not going to be someone who's taking these damn big paragraphs like a woman. I'm not going to do none of this. You feel me? What I'm going to do is I'm going to send one nice paragraph to you. The minute the 3rd strike pops up, the 4th strike pops up in my head, that's all based off other shit you did. And I'm just going to slice you, right? But I dealt with you in the beginning, and now the problem is getting worse. So if the problem is getting worse, the only thing I could do is get rid of the problem. But if the problem is obviously salvageable, I take care of it in the beginning. That's pretty much what the way of life is. Either I'm cool with you or not cool with you. And problems just come from the situations you put yourself in. You get me? That's all problems is. You don't see when people go live in freaking the mountains, the only problems they really got is food and wild animals they got to deal with. But still, they still have lesser problems. And we may say they still got problems. Everybody got problems, but some people got more problems than others. And dealing with your problems head on is going to make you have lesser problems in the future. You feel me? I'm not going to say you're not going to ever deal with problems because the severity of your problem depends on whatever situation calls for. But it's definitely problems in everybody's life. And there's definitely problems every day, present, each moment. You get me? And I pray that everybody has, better problems. I hope you have problems that you don't know how to spend money. I hope the problems that you have is you have too much money and you don't know what the fuck to spend it on. I wish that the problems you have is you don't know what cars to drive today. What house to buy on the block. What vacation, to go to. What type of designer to buy, what mall to go to. What type of shades you want to buy. What cologne or perfume you want to put on a day. What jewelry, what bag you want to buy. That's the type of problems I want you to have. That's the type of problems I'm having. That's the type of problems I'm going to have. Both, having and having, going to have. And I want the problems not to be even called problems. I want them to be called shit. I don't even know what to call them. Blessings. We're going to call them blessings because that's what they very are, but I was just trying to find another word for it that everybody could compare it to quote unquote an oxymoron of the word problem. But yeah, man, I just want you guys to take a deep breath when everything going on in life because I know some people, they may fail the test that was supposed to make them a board certified person and they failed it. That doesn't mean you're stupid. That's why they have failure and success in life. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means everybody go through failures before they get success. Some people just don't go through that portion of failure. But when they get that job, they probably don't know what the fuck going on. You get me? They probably just failing at following procedures. And you can follow procedures, but sometimes the test may just not be in your favor. So the problem you have could be a lesser problem than the other person. You're not board certified, but you know the information. All you got to do is study a little harder. You good. That person knows the information, but now they can't follow the instructions. They don't have critical thinking skills like you do. So now it's a reverse of problems. You get me? So one person in, one person out, but one person could do the other can't. So now everybody has some type of problem. You feel me? Salesman can sell the car, but can't buy the car. It's crazy out here, right? So let's think about everything, let's think about everything that we put out there because everything looks glamorous and gold. And to go back to that salesman thing, I'm not saying that if salesmen can't buy the cars they sell. I'm just saying I never seen really salesmen go buy the same cars that they sell. That's all I'm saying. But I like for people to just take a second to really realize the severity of your problems. Write it down, see what's bothering you, and figure out a way to really break it down and talk to yourself and say, is it really that big of a deal? If you need money, is it your ego stopping you from asking or going work a job? That's your problem. If you need gas in your car, is it your problem to not ask? It is your problem because now you're stuck with no gas in your car. So you got to tackle that problem head on. Go ask. You know what you got to do. You know you got to take a test again because you failed the first test. The problem is you probably don't want to face that second test because you thought the first test was already hard enough. You better face that second problem, which is that second test. Don't let yourself fall into the severity of being scared, of being the courage, the cowardly dog. Don't let somebody, quote unquote, boldness or stature, affect the way you communicate to them. I tell people all the time, what you afraid to talk to them? No, I ain't afraid. Go tell them what you said, what you just told me. I ain't gonna say all that. Listen, I'm gonna go tell them. Oh, don't tell them what you scared for. I'm gonna go tell them because you don't want to deal with it. I like to face the problem head on, but then again, I gotta realize this is not my problem. This is your problem. But I'm just doing it to see exactly what's the problem. You don't want to talk to that and that communicating in that way. Okay, cool. Let's rephrase it. Rephrase it. But give them that tone still. But don't back away from facing that problem, which is speaking your mind. Because a lot of people let things go by because they're afraid of losing friendships. They're afraid of losing relationships. And I'm the type of person, like, to be real, I kind of just be in my circle. Whoever fucks with me, but I don't really go looking for anything because it's not for me. I feel like if it's for me, it's going to find me. And the problems that I already have, I'm not looking for more. The more people you have around me, the more problems you got. You feel me? I'd rather have a network of people I can rely on rather than a network of people I chill with. If I'm sitting around chilling all day, things could just start happening to me that I really didn't start because now I'm mixing my energies with everybody. And that's me personally. You feel me? I feel like if I'm already not somebody who hangs with large crowds of groups and I start hanging with large crowds of groups and things start happening to me like situations and things I never really dealt with, the only thing I could just say is I looked for those problems. And those problems found me. But now I got to deal with those problems because I put myself in that situation. And everything is a cause and effect. You get me? You have a girlfriend. You don't spend money on her. She leaves you. You love her too much. She leaves you. You don't tell her the truth. She leaves you. Same thing for the girl. She thinks that you're lying too much. She thinks that you're lying too much. You leave her. She thinks that you're cheating. You leave her. You end up not liking the way she does. You leave her. Your job is treating you wrong. You leave the job. The job loses an employee. But you got to realize that someone got to deal with the problem. Who's going to deal with the problem? How much of the problem do you want to deal with? You losing your job or leaving your job, who's going to deal with the bigger problem? Your boss or you? You. Because you got to think about it. Your boss is always going to replace you in a matter of days. You got to find another hustle to make that money. Your boss has a stipend. Your boss has a salary. Your boss has, and whoever owns the company has reserves. So when one person goes missing, it just means more problems on the next person. That overload is on that person. So now there's a whole trifecta of things going on. Everybody dealing with problems. You feel me? He leaves, all his work is just to me now. So I got to do all his work now because my boss says I got to do it. If I don't do it, then I'm fired. Now I got to do all this dude work because he left. He don't have a job. He don't got no money. I'm doing his work. My job, my boss is under pressure trying to look for somebody to hurry up that's well qualified to do his same work. But I'm here with all the work. So now we're all in this, oh shit, problems. You feel me? So it's like, just run towards it. Let me just knock this damn work out, man. Fuck it, man. This dude set me up. Fucking let me just knock out. How much all this pay? I got to type up like 30 pages. Okay, cool. Let's get to it. I start getting to it. You feel me? But if I'm sitting there, it's like dreading it, like, oh my God, I got problems. I sound like an old ass man getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. Of course, life is going to give me what I asked for. Oh, you got problems, all right. I'm going to give you more problems. Bam! The universe hears you. So what I'm saying is I'm running towards my problems. I have no problems. I only have obstacles that, of course, obstacles could be moved out the way. It's like a cone in the street. Everybody can run towards it. It could fuck up your engine if you run towards it too much. So what do? You get out the car, you just move around it. Or you move it, or you go around it. But you got to take your time going around it. You don't want to still get clogged up in your car. You feel me? You want to see it from a bird's eye view. You want to see it before it happens. You want to take your time. You don't go around it. You don't want to be negligent and just run over it. So that's what I'm saying. Don't run away from your problems. Run towards it. Get it done. Get things done efficiently. Get things done appropriately. Get things done professionally. Don't let people squander your time. Don't let people come into your life and fuck shit up and you not say nothing about it. If you feel some type of way, say something right on the spot, because if you let it build up, then you got bigger problems because now you carry all this resentment. But if you saying, hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Hey, listen, this is what we're doing. Hey, listen, this is what we're doing, and things still don't happen or situations in business still don't work out for you, then this is what you do. You got to, obviously excuse yourself, but you took care of the problem head on. But if you didn't, like I said, it was a snowball effect that made things 10 times worse. So once again, man, Roll the Billions podcast. We talk about it. We be about it. I am about it. I am him. You are her. You are him. You are that person that people don't like, but you obviously going to be at the top. You get me? So you got to continue to chase your dreams. You got to continue to see the vision that other people can't see. You got to continue to talk the shit that people are afraid to talk about. And if they're afraid of you, let them continue to be afraid. People are inspired by you. Embrace those people. Don't deflect those people. Don't run them away. Don't shoot them away. Embrace those people. People who DM me, like, hey, listen, I love what you do. I always shout them out on my podcast because I let them know I appreciate you. People who tell me negative things, I'll confront you. I'm going to confront you about it now because you just said some slick shit about me. Now I got to see what we're doing, what we're talking about. If you're saying something to me, I got to say something to you. Just like 50 Cent said, anytime somebody makes you uncomfortable, you make them uncomfortable back. If a problem makes you uncomfortable, make that problem uncomfortable back. You get me? You having problems with money? The money ain't going to have problems. You going to have the problems. You feel me? You're going to have the problems spending that money because now all the money you getting from running to your problems, you can spend it on, like I mentioned before, on cars and shit like that. That's the only problems you need to have. You don't want to have problems where money controls you. Money's like, you don't have enough of me. You want to be the person that says, I have enough of you. You're not going to be in my hand no more because I'm about to blow that shit again. Now you going to another person because I got enough of you. You get me? I'm a very like visual person. I'm just a funny guy. But fact of the matter is, chase your dreams, put God first, run into your problems. Problems aren't problems, they're obstacles. Once you do that, life becomes a lot easier. It may not become a lot smoother all at once, but like I said, sleeping at night on a Tempur-Pedic with a weighted blanket, 20-pound blanket, 50 degrees at night, watching I Am a Virgo, I'd rather do that than be sleepless. Then, guys, once again, chase your dreams.